What your healing does to the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So, what your healing does to the narcissist, I haven't touched on this in depth in videos ever. I'm going to do it right now. Usually, I am referring to getting as far away from the narcissist as fast as you possibly can. This video will be no different, but what it will do is it will let you know that the 4 ties that need to be cut, the energetic tie, the spiritual tie, as you are healing, that does affect the narcissist. I'm going to go back in time. Remember, before you met them, who you were. You were a clean slate. You were naive. You were probably going through life with rose-tinted glasses, thinking that everybody had your best interest at heart, etc. And then you met the narcissist. That's the second version of you. That's when you were the human piñata. That's when you were being peppered with abuse, morning, noon, afternoon, evening, day after day, week after week, month after month, or longer. The third version of you is the version of you who is healing, or who has healed, and who has acquired the wisdom, and who is applying the tools that are provided for you with each and every video I create, and from all the fantastic, insightful, and intuitive comments from all over the world. Please keep those coming. All of these things I'm mentioning to you, they equal what your healing does to the narcissist. Think about something right now. When the narcissist had access to you when you were in the relationship, they took advantage of you. They manipulated you. They brainwashed you. They peppered you with seeds of doubt, seeds of confusion, seeds of not doing enough for them. They triangulated you. They gaslit you. They gave you the silent treatment. They financially abused you. They verbally abused you. They hung up on you. They walked 30 or 40 feet in front of you. They took you for granted. They treated you less than. They disrespected you, and they knew what they were doing. That's when you were in the relationship. This is before you knew what narcissism was. So you were helpless. You were vulnerable. You were naive, and you were giving information to the person who was manipulating you. Yes, the narcissist. This is the perfect destructive relationship, i.e. the narcissistic relationship, because nobody knows what's going on, yet it is all around us. The people that are targeted, which was me and it was you, we know what it's like to be in the narcissistic abusive cycle, in the trauma bond, in the devaluation stage, and have their energy swarming all around us. Your average person will never know that. Your average person simply is living in what I call the everyday fog. The everyday fog is they're not the narcissist, they're not the empath, or maybe they are the empath, but they're living life, and they don't know that there is a much higher purpose for them yet. And maybe they'll never know. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is if you've been in the narcissistic abusive cycle, you now know this has changed you forever. You see, you can't unsee what you've seen, you can't unhear what you've heard, and you can't unexperience what you've experienced, which is all the toxicity from the narcissist. So as the thumbnail mentions, what your healing does to the narcissist, think about the 4 ties. You have the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. Well, the emotional tie is you processing what had happened to you. That takes a lot of time. And as you're healing, you understand that, yeah, you had to go through that relationship. There was no other way. Could you have gone back in time and not met that person? It's impossible. But if you didn't meet that person, you most likely, and I still stand by this, and I always will as long as I'm breathing air on this planet called Earth, you would have met another apex predator, the narcissist, because you had to learn this lesson just like I did. It's not a lesson you wanted to learn. It's not something you were looking for, but this is where we are in life. So you need to understand that, part 1. Part 2 is you need to understand that the physical tie needs to be cut. What the physical tie is, that means blocking them, going no contact, getting all of their items out of your house, all of your items out of their house, division of assets, 401k, money, properties, child custody, and more. I know it's not that easy. I just gave you an overview of what must be cut. That's the emotional and the physical. The financial is the money, like I just talked about. That is division of the assets, etc., crypto, gold, silver, stocks, bonds, all those things, properties. Now the spiritual, remember the emotional, financial, physical, spiritual. Spiritual ties, the tie I don't talk about as much on the channel, but I will begin to do so. And I know I mentioned that a little bit last year, but I will begin to do so even more right now in this video and subsequent videos. You see, as you're healing, remember the narcissist has a 6th sense. The 6th sense they have is a predatory sense. They are instinctively looking for people to take advantage of. That's why the narcissist is a predator. That's why they are looking for a host. And that's why the narcissist is a parasite as well, looking to glom on and leech off of a host. Well, the host was you, it was me. No longer is it either of us, nor will it ever be. But the spiritual side, the energetic side, this is the part I'm going to dig into here. When you were in the relationship with the narcissist, they knew who you were long before you knew who you were. Meaning they knew you were an empath. They knew you were committed. They knew you would tell the truth. They knew you would always do the right thing. They knew essentially you were the glue that kept everything together, and they took advantage of that. Did they know it exactly like I just mentioned? Yes, they did. Will they ever tell you that? No, they won't. They will blame you and anybody that will listen to them, how that relationship's ending or whatever happened, and it was your fault, just like they did with all the other supply sources. But having said that, the spiritual and the energetic connection, as you're healing, the narcissist can sense this. Now, don't read into this too much right now, but what I'm telling you is completely accurate, and I can prove it 1,000 ways till Sunday. That sixth sense, the predatory instinct that the narcissist has, that's something they've had since they were a little kid. You had the same kind of sixth sense, but not a predatory sense. You had something what is known as empathy, which is being a kind, loving, stable, healthy person. I've said that in thousands of videos. Well, the narcissist was drawn to you like a moth to a flame. They wanted to extinguish you and your flame. They wanted to steal your beautiful, bright, shining light. Then if you didn't exist, they would be all the more happier or satisfied because they snuffed out another person, stole everything from them, and went on to the new supply. Tough pill to swallow, but it is real. Now, when you're healing and you've gone no contact and blocked them and you want nothing to do with them, and this takes a lot of time, but when you do it, you will understand a lot of things. One, your energy will return back to you. Two, you will have learned as much as you needed to learn, or most of what you will learn about narcissism. Three, you will finally wrap your head around the fact that person never loved you. They never cared about you. They will never, ever love you or care about you or anybody. They only care about what people do for them, which is why the narcissist is always looking for the next new shiny object, the next opportunity, the next clean slate, the next new supply. And this is why the narcissist is loyal to nobody, and they weren't loyal to you no matter what you think. The next thing you'll have to realize is that as you're healing and you're getting stronger and you maintain no contact and your boundaries, you are naturally elevating and ascending. You're getting lighter. As when I say getting lighter, what that means is you're not stuck in the low vibrational quagmire state trying to figure out what narcissism was, still pining for them, still in the trauma bond, still caught up thinking about them, where they are, who they're with, what they're doing. That all goes away over time, and it does not happen overnight, and it doesn't happen in a week. It takes a lot of time to get to where I'm talking about. But when you get to where I'm referencing, you realize that your life is so much better without toxicity, because now you have peace of mind, you have clarity, you have wisdom, you have experience, and now you have seen the dark side of humanity. I mean the pitch black dark side of humanity, which is when you're trapped in a place, in an invisible prison, if you will, with invisible tethers all around you, your ankles, your arms, your neck, and your torso and more, and you are compelled to be communicating with your abuser, i.e. the narcissist, and doing whatever they wanted you to do, maintaining a full-time job, probably not taking care of your health or your exercise regimes or your hobbies, perhaps raising kids, paying bills, cooking, cleaning, making sure the house was spick and span, and waiting like a good little servant for the narcissist to text you, to hang up on you, to slam the door, to ignore you, to gaslight you, to ghost you, to blame you, to triangulate you, or more. Now, again, I can say these things because I lived it. I was in the cycle for a long time, years, truth be told, and I didn't know where I was. And now that I do, that's why I create videos each and every day. But as this thumbnail mentions, as what your healing does to the narcissist, this is an energetic connection that will be cut. Now, will it be permanently cut? No, it won't be. And many of you probably didn't expect me to say that. Those of you who have had one-on-one sessions with me, you know exactly what I've shared with you in the sessions. But these 4 ties must be cut, and your healing will accelerate the ties being cut, because the narcissist doesn't want you healing. The narcissist wants you stuck. The narcissist doesn't want you seen behind the mask. The narcissist wants you pining for them. The narcissist doesn't want you to put yourself back together and rise through the ashes like a phoenix. dust yourself off by the bootstraps and heal properly. The narcissist wants you in your house, thinking and being consumed and ruminating and pining and wondering and spying and texting and asking and not getting closure. That's what the narcissist wants. But all of these things you did not know way back when, now you're understanding them, which is why as you heal and really understand this part of the video, I've shared it for quite a while now, I'm gonna share it again. As you heal, the stronger you get, the weaker the narcissist gets. The weaker the narcissist gets, the more clear your mind becomes. The clearer your mind becomes, the more you realize that that relationship wasn't as bad as you thought it was. It was 1,000 times worse. That's why the narcissist never, and I mean never, let you make your own decisions when you're in the relationship. That's why they're always comparing you with other people. That's why they were always on the go, go, go. That's why it would never be enough, enough, enough for the narcissist. That's why the narcissist couldn't sit still. That's why the narcissist was always blaming you or devaluing you or ignoring you or giving you the silent treatment and more. Because this is what the narcissist had done long before they met you. It's what they did with you, and it's what they're doing right now if they're still breathing air on this planet. The narcissist will never change, they will never introspect, they will never be accountable, and they won't own up to what they've done. What they will do is continue to blame anybody that they can for their poor behavior or for the ending of any relationship that they took the most out of. Now, having said all these things, and before I get ready to close the video, what your healing does to the narcissist, when they realize and they scroll on one of their 3 smartphones and they go from A to Z, and they realize that your name's not on any of their smartphones anymore. Maybe somebody with your name is on their smartphone, but your name isn't on their smartphone. Example, if your name, whatever, I'm not gonna use letters, but let's say whatever letter your name begins with, maybe they had 2 or 3 people with your same name. And you may think, how is that possible? Anything's possible with the narcissist, anything. So your exact name or number won't be there because you blocked them. Maybe even gotten a new phone number, maybe moved to a new country. Whatever you've done, you've removed yourself from the parasitical creature, the narcissist, and they will be reminded of you in the past. And you may say, how is that true? Number one, everybody, you need to understand the narcissist is still a human. They think. They don't think the way you think, but they're comparing fuel sources always. So if in the past what you did on a Friday after work, when you were working 9 to 5 for 5 days a week and it was Friday at 5, maybe what you did is rented the car, gassed it up, and loaded up all the luggage, put the dog in the vet, make sure the lights were off and unplugged everything in the house, made sure everyone had packed everything they needed to pack, and continued to go to the grocery store and buy food for the road trip. And then you got everyone in the car and you drove 2 hours and you went and you put your game face on even though you were being ignored because you were driving the narcissist who was completely triangulating you on the freeway or ignoring you or smirking or playing loud music or chuckling or laughing or humming, whatever they were doing. You were not yourself. But when you realize that, then you say, wait a minute, where I was, I want nothing to do with that. What I want is I want to be free. And when you are free, the narcissist can't wrap their tentacles around you any longer. So as I shared, when the narcissist looks at their phone, or when someone else brings your name up, or when a song triggers the narcissist, yes, that does happen. You would be surprised at how often the narcissist keeps their tiny little mask on so nobody knows how absolutely anxiety riddled they are. But this will happen to the narcissist. So eventually, I'll fast forward, what will happen is the narcissist will realize that A, you are the one that got away. B, you healed. C, you want nothing to do with them. D, you know what they did, but you don't need to shout it from the mountaintops or the rooftops because just you knowing is more than enough. And if you know who they are and they know that you know what they did and they know that you know, that's all that matters. You see, what doesn't matter is what other people think. What doesn't matter is what the narcissist says. What doesn't matter is what other people think of the narcissist. What does matter is your reality. What does matter is your real life experience. What does matter is you were in a relationship from hell. You crawled your way out of it. You rose through the ashes like a phoenix and dusted yourself off and put yourself back together against insurmountable odds, just like I have. That's why you are a rare person. You're not cut like everybody else. You're not a person in the everyday fog any longer. You can't be. You're clearly not a toxic person because you made it this far in the video and you're healing just like I am. You are what I call an educated empath, a person who was taken advantage of taken super high, dropped super low, pushed away, pulled back in, sucked into the vortex, the bottomless pit, the hole in the cavern of the narcissist. That's where you were existing. You weren't living, you were existing. And this is where they try to keep you stuck and trapped. So again, as the thumbnail mentions, what your healing does to the narcissist, as you're breaking these ties, they can sense it. You may think, no, they can't sense it. Well, let's go back in time for a minute. Let's even put narcissism on the side. Let's say you and your brother or sister who you're really close with, or you and your best friend, or you and one of your parents, all of these people are healthy, I'm referring to, meaning not narcissists. Let's say that you were born on the East Coast and you went to university in the West Coast, and one day you were thinking about somebody that I just mentioned, maybe one of your parents or siblings or somebody, and they call you out of the blue. What do you think that is? Do you think that's a coincidence? No, it's not. That's energy. That's a connection of you thinking about that person 3,000 miles away and them thinking about you, and then ring, 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 there's the phone. Flip it, fast forward to the narcissistic abusive cycle. The narcissist, as I shared with you earlier, they have a predatory sixth sense. They knew exactly what they were doing and how long to keep you stuck in that quagmire, and they actually thought that you would never make it out, but you did. Having said all that, you are developing your sixth sense. Yours is not a predatory sixth sense. It's a protectionary sixth sense. This is called discernment. And with this newfound discernment, it's a superpower. It's a superpower on steroids. And you must remember, as I've shared with you over so many videos over the years, the Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, was bitten by a radioactive spider. In Amazing Fantasy 15, look it up, Marvel Comics, I believe 1964, maybe 63. Anyway, you cut it. Spider-Man, Peter Parker became Spider-Man. And when he had the superpowers, he didn't go around bullying people. He was mild-mannered Peter Parker doing whatever he was doing. And when he had to, he went and helped out people. Because with great power comes great responsibility. That's what you've acquired. You have a sixth sense, just like the narcissist, but yours is used for good. Theirs is used for evil, and I do mean that word. Remember, you are the beautiful, bright, shining light. The narcissist is the apex predator, a serpent, if you will, slithering through life, trying to consume people. They had their best shots at you. They had their dirty fangs sunken into you, and truth be told, they thought you would never make it, but you did, which is why what your healing does to the narcissist, it gives them a proverbial punch, an uppercut, a body blow, a left cross, a right hook, roundhouse, whatever it is. This is figuratively, not literally. And it will create such a narcissistic injury for them, they may not even recover from it, because the narcissist cannot handle the truth. They cannot wrap their head around the fact that somebody broke the trauma bond, somebody elevated, somebody put themselves back together, somebody is on a new path without that 800-pound gorilla around their neck. And that's what I'm doing, and that's what you're doing, or you have done. Any way you cut it, you need to get as far away from the narcissist as fast as you possibly can. And so what your healing does to the narcissist doesn't do one good thing for them. They will be in disbelief how you made it. They will be in disbelief how you went no contact. They will be in disbelief how you're not putting out their fires any longer. They will be in disbelief how you're not picking up the phone or texting or calling. And as a matter of fact, how your phone number or name isn't even on their phone any longer because you blocked them. You need to take the bull by the horns. You need to stop tempting fate. You need to stop peeking on the narcissist social media. You need to stop driving by their house. You need to stop knowing anything about them. And more importantly, you don't want them to know anything about you. There's a reason I create videos each and every day. There's a reason I've done it for almost 5 years. There's a reason that I've helped so many people reach the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference. There's a reason that place exists. And there's a reason that there's more than enough room for you when you do your part. You must do your part. Nobody will do it for you. And so what your healing does to the narcissist, it gives them a big wake-up call, a big dose of reality, a big slap right in the face that they're the weak one, they're the pathetic one, they're the loser, they're the person who's stuck in that narcissistic abusive cycle and they can't get out. Even if they wanted to, they're trapped for eternity and they know it. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Couple things. Healing is instrumental. This is the relationship you need to heal from. You need to heal, just like myself. Nobody can do this for you. Not one person. Number two, you should know by now, no one's going to knock on your door to rescue you or save you. You may have thought that that was the case, as did a lot of us in the past, but that's not reality. Reality is there are way more toxic people out there than you would ever know. There are way fewer empaths than you would ever know, but the people like you or myself who were trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle and made it out in one piece and healed properly, or who are healing and doing remarkably well, we are what I call the educated empath. We are a number growing. We are a very, very powerful force. And you can't make up the experiences you went through. That's why very few people will ever be able to understand it, because to them, it wasn't that bad. To them, go out and back out and start dating. What's the big deal? Or it couldn't be that bad. Or everyone's using that word these days. What's your problem? Just get out there. I can't believe you're still talking about it. Well, it's all fun and games until the narcissist rears their ugly head and takes a bite of that person. And my hope is the narcissist doesn't take a bite of anybody any longer. But as long as I'm on the planet, unfortunately, narcissism will exist. That's why I create videos each and every day to pay it forward. If you would like information on a one-on-one session with me, drop an email at narcdailyvideos@gmail.com. That's narcdailyvideos@gmail.com. Check out the link in the description also. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.